I see you. I see you awake in the middle of the night, staring at the ceiling, your heart racing while the world sleeps. Your chest feels tight. Your thoughts refuse to slow down. Tomorrow feels heavy before it even arrives. You try to breathe, but the weight doesn't lift. You wonder why fear still lives in your heart when you believe in me. You feel guilty for being anxious. You ask yourself questions you're afraid to say out loud. If I truly trusted God, why do I feel this way? Is my faith weak? Why can't I find peace? Listen to me carefully now. I have never condemned you for feeling afraid. I have never turned away from an anxious heart. I know this battle better than you think. When I spoke about anxiety, I wasn't speaking from a distance. I wasn't offering cold commands or impossible expectations. I was speaking as one who understands the weight you carry. I know what it is to feel overwhelmed. I know what it is to feel pressure closing in. I know what it is to face uncertainty, pain, and fear. I see the worries that follow you through the day. The bills, the responsibilities, the health concerns, the relationships you don't know how to fix, the future you can't control. Anxiety does not shout. It whispers. It tells you that you're alone, that something terrible is about to happen. And the hardest part is this. You try to pray, but the words feel stuck. You want to trust, but fear feels stronger. My beloved, you are not broken. I never asked you to pretend you aren't afraid. I asked you to bring your fear to me. When I said, "Do not be anxious," I was not rejecting your emotions. I was inviting you into rest. When I walked among the people, I spoke to the poor, the tired, the oppressed people who lived with daily uncertainty. They didn't know where their next meal would come from. They didn't have safety nets or guarantees. And still, I looked into their eyes and said, "Do not worry about your life, not because life was easy, but because God is faithful." I pointed to the birds. They do not store food. They do not worry about tomorrow, yet they are fed. I pointed to the flowers. They do not labor or strain, yet they are clothed in beauty. And then I asked the question that still echoes today. Are you not much more valuable than they? Anxiety convinces you that everything depends on you, that if you stop worrying, everything will fall apart. That control is the only thing keeping disaster away. But control is an illusion, and it is a heavy burden to carry. You were never meant to hold the future in your hands. That weight was never yours. I know how desperately you want certainty. I know how badly you want reassurance that everything will turn out okay. But peace does not come from knowing the outcome. Peace comes from knowing me. I do not promise you a life without storms. I promise you my presence in the storm. Do you remember the night on the sea? The wind was violent. The waves crashed against the boat. My disciples were terrified, and I slept. Not because the storm wasn't real, but because I was not afraid. Same storm, different peace. That peace is not reserved for me alone. I gave it to you. My peace I leave with you. My peace I give to you. Not as the world gives. The world's peace depends on circumstances, money, health, stability, success. My peace lives deeper than circumstances. It remains when everything else shakes. You think faith means never feeling fear. Faith means choosing trust even when fear is present. I saw this in Peter. He stepped out of the boat. He walked on water. But when he focused on the waves, he began to sink. And when he cried out, "Lord, save me," I reached for him immediately. I did not wait for him to be perfect. I did not lecture him. I saved him. That is who I am. I am near to the anxious heart. I am close to those who feel overwhelmed. I do not despise your weakness. Bring your worries to me, not polished, not rehearsed, not hidden, just real. When you fall to your knees and whisper, "Lord, I can't carry this anymore," heaven listens. Prayer is not about strong words. It is about honest surrender. When you pray, you are not reminding God of what He forgot. You are repositioning your heart under His care. And when you release what you cannot control, my peace guards your heart and your mind. This peace will not always remove the storm, but it will keep the storm from destroying you. I want you to understand something deeply now. I do not offer you techniques to manage anxiety. I offer transformation. I want to heal the root, not just the symptoms. Your anxiety may be tied to wounds you never healed. Fears of failure, fears of abandonment, fears of not being enough. But I know your true name. You are loved. You are seen. You are safe in my hands. I speak truth where lies once lived. I bring light into the places you tried to hide. Fear says, "You're alone." I say, "I will never leave you." Fear says, "You won't survive this." I say, "My grace is sufficient." Fear says, "You are losing control." I say, "I am still on the throne." And now, listen to this truth, the one that changes everything. I did not only teach about anxiety, I experienced it. In the garden, before the cross, my soul was overwhelmed. My anguish was so intense that my body trembled. I sweat blood. I knew what awaited me, the pain, the abandonment, the suffering, and I prayed, "Father, if it is possible, yet not my will, but yours be done." I walked through the deepest human fear, so that you would never walk alone in yours. That is why anxiety cannot separate you from me, because I have already been there. I understand. You do not need to carry tomorrow today. Tomorrow has its own grace. Give me this moment, this breath, this step. When anxiety returns, and it may, do not panic. Come back to me over and over again. This is not perfection, it is direction. And I promise you this, you may face storms, but you will not face them alone. You may feel fear, but it will not define you. You may struggle, but you will not be overcome. I am with you, now, tomorrow, always. Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest.